Hey, yo. Check it.
Welcome back, Hir-O.
My word is my sword, Hokage and Batosai, pulling the blades out of the forge, yo. Prior to my knowledge of the Force, was thinking Jedi, but through obtaining holocrons from both sides, I'm under gray skies. Everything that glitter ain't kyber crystal, my mind to lift you. In this time we shine together, disarm your pistol, yo. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash.
Whoops. I don't know what happened to the drums, dog. Sounds sweet, but it's just different.
You meant to do it. You did it that way. Boom.
Hey, man. We back.
We back. What? So this is either we're gonna be not knowing what episode it is for the rest of the life of the show.
I think it's episode 66 or 67. Yeah, I think it's 67 actually.
Whatever. That's all right. So yeah, man. I hope everybody's enjoying. I guess if it's possible to be enjoying the new year so far.
Yeah, off to a rough start. We just off to a rough first couple of minutes of the first quarter here.
Yeah, man.
Turned the ball over a couple of times.
We got ripped at half.
Yeah, didn't get back on D.
Hustle back on D. Fouled the guy that ripped you.
Automatic and one
if you do that.
Right.
Refs be waiting for you to make a frustration play on defense. Bro. Then you fouled him. Then you were so anxious to get the rebound off the missed free throw that you got a lane violation.
Yep.
And he actually missed, but it was a lane violation. So he got to shoot again.
And then made it.
And then your coach just took you out of the game.
Yep. And then when your star rookie comes in, they get him for an automatic rookie travel. Soon, no matter what. I fucking hate that shit.
I hate that call so much.
Or the automatic rookie block or charge every single
Athleticism, out of control.
Right. You don't know how to fucking play yet, clown. Like, bro, what you mean?
You're too young and stupid.
All right. I'm a professional basketball player.
Bro, exactly. So yeah, man. What are you into currently, my brother?
A few things, dog. So I've put Cyberpunk down for a minute. Like I beat Cyberpunk and I started.
That hoodie's sweet, by the way.
Oh yeah. And my aunt got it for me, black and dope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I've been trying to find again because I'm gonna revisit for Cyberpunk once they get all the patches in because I'm sure they got a lot of work to do on that shit.
Word.
But I've been playing Hyrule Warriors. Shout out to Yakuza Yana for putting me on that.
Hey, okay.
Super cold. I mean, it's basically Zelda, but with that Temco Dynasty Warriors engine, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty fun. But the game that I really been playing is Katana Zero, bro. That shit is fire.
Yeah, man, you were telling me about it. I gotta download it.
Yeah, I described it to Nav. I said, oh, so basically you're telling me that Ghost of Tsushima and Mega Man had a child and his name is Katana Zero. Oh, cool. Man. This got one of the coolest gimmicks ever, bro. So the gimmick of the game is essentially you have then the story is actually super crazy and like there's hella like lore and shit. Like it's a whole dope world that they drop you into. But basically the character that you play as has this power where he can he has precognition. So the actual game, your actual gameplay is just him planning his attack. So that's the reason why you have infinite. Yeah, that's the reason why you have infinite lives, because as soon as you get hit, he'll see like, oh, no, you'll actually see a message on the screen that pops up that says, no, that's not going to work. Let me try again. Let me like think about another way to do it. And so once you actually complete the area all the way through without getting hit, you will see like essentially our perspective is basically a security camera. So you'll see your completed game play. You'll see your game run go all the way through, like automatically, and that's the actual game. That's the actual character doing the stuff. So you technically never get hit at all.
That sounds amazing, actually.
Yeah, it's really creative. It's a clever, like, kind of side-scrolling 2D Mega Man style hack and slash. You can fucking slow down time and deflect bullets. It's really fucking dope. Super dope.
I definitely gotta check that out.
I don't know. If I know you, and I feel like I know you pretty well, you would absolutely love this game. So that's what I've been on lately. I've been watching a lot of TV too, but we'll talk about that later. So. What about you?
Man, so I have actually been, and this kind of is what brought me to our top 5 of the day for today, but we're not going to talk about it right now, obviously. But I've been like watching a lot of Craig of the Creek, man.
Mm-hmm. I actually started watching too,
bro.
And like, I'm like way more familiar with it now than I was last time.
Yeah, so like everybody, you guys already know how much I love that cartoon. I think it's amazing, and so they did like the little like special big time episode that was coming up, the winter break one. So I just watched a whole bunch of season 3 to get like caught up. And everybody, my kids love that show. Mm-hmm. And so I just kind of got super caught up on it. And then I watched like the little like big episode, and it was awesome. And the way that this cartoon could totally have like a big time movie, because the way it's not set up, as your like typical action cartoon, but it is like there's characters, and the characters are so sweet, and like every character has like a little backstory episode, and there's like this overarching like stuff going on with the other side of the creek, and like the little king over there, and like they finally invaded or something like that. Yeah, because he has Craig's map, so they tried to.
I saw that episode where he lost the map.
Yeah, bro, and then like the green poncho is the kid who protects the overpass, so they can't come over there. And then like during winter break, when all the kids are, the episode is sweet, because what happens is like Craig basically abandoned his friends for 2 weeks during winter break because he got a sweet video game for Christmas. So he stayed in and played the game for 2 weeks, and then basically the king from the other side was gonna come invade their side because he knew everybody was gone. So they end up having to like stop them from invading their side of the creek. Is sweet. And just like that show, man, it's hilarious, and it's also dope. Like just the way that they do it like it's like an action show. You know what I'm saying? It's sweet and it's hilarious. Yeah, bro, I just been watching a lot of that, getting caught up on that. And I really think that they need to do, even if it's just like a network movie, they should do like a little hour 15-minute long, like little Craig of the Creek movie.
It looks like Craig of the Creek is up next in terms of like you had Adventure Time got it started. You had regular show. Then you had Steven Universe came and ran with it.
Yeah,
and I think now that Steven Universe is over, it looks like I thought for a second it might have been OKKO. Let's Be Heroes, but it's looking like Craig of the Creek is taking over.
And that's another show that I kind of like compare to, right? Like Steven Universe is this big, like super creative show, and it has like these super like kind of deep stories, and it's done like, it's done like a comic book or like an anime type of thing. And Craig of the Creek, even though it's like a funny show and the episodes aren't that long, like they're like little 15-minute episodes, but that show has a lot of those elements in it too. And I think it could be like something bigger, you know what I'm saying? But
sure.
So that's what I've been into, man. I just been watching, getting caught up on Craig of the Creek.
Fire,
it's a sweet show. But yo, man, let's talk sports a little bit, because I know we got a lot of sports fans. Shout out to the Discord as always. If you're not in the Discord, I will make sure I post it more during the week so you guys can join. Again, it's a great community of people.
It really is.
Fans of our music, fans of the podcast, and just dope individuals, man. And everybody's got, we all have kind of, it's basically like I love it because we spend so much time like not being able to talk about the things that we're into because we're not surrounded by people who like the same stuff as us.
All right.
And it's been like that probably for most of our lives, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And now we have like this small like group of people who are into all the same things. So I think it's really sweet. But so man, so talk some sports. The James Harden trade.
Ooh.
Like super blockbuster.
Yeah.
Before we touch on it, I just want to say that James Harden was clearly wearing a fat suit in Houston.
The fucking Family Guy fat tubers.
Bro, he literally lost like 60 pounds in 3 days.
Yeah, man. He was apparently the in-universe explanation is that he wears like a sweatshirt underneath his warm-up for some reason. I don't know.
Hit that mellow. I'm not buying that.
That's what they say. I don't know.
So I mean, the trade, as crazy as it was, I mean, you gotta look at it like everybody that was involved pretty much won. Everybody.
Yeah.
Like obviously the Nets got James Harden. They gave up a ton, but I mean, they have a shot at winning this thing, and then either this year or next year. So they're a legitimate contender. So that's fine. And then you got the Pacers who got Karis LeVert, who just found out that he had like a liver problem or
kidney something wrong with his kidney.
So hopefully he can
get
play
well soon. Yeah, but he wins that trade for sure.
Yeah, he's awesome. I think he's gonna get paid a crap load of money and become
they
a
traded.
superstar.
And so two things about that. One, I'm pretty sure Karis LeVert is from Indiana.
Oh wow!
Which is all. I'm sure that must be awesome for him. Two, they got rid of. Even though I like Victor Oladipo, they shipped him out. So now like he's kind of him and the Sabonis, who's playing. Dog, Sabonis is crushing it this year.
He's good, bro. Yeah, he's really good.
But I mean, he's gonna instantly be like option number 2 on that at minimum on that team.
Which he'll be fine.
Yeah.
And he's that. Remember we actually did that thing. Me and you. Where,
I'm tripping. He's from Ohio. Never mind.
That thing I saw on the internet where we were like making our top 5 we would have in the league if we could only put out 2 max contracts, and we both had Sabonis on our team. So he's really dope, man. I also think that Karis LeVert is going to be a superstar. He's a big time bucket getter,
bro. Ever since he was at Michigan, it was clear that he was a bucket getter.
100%.
I was a fan of his all the way back then.
And then you got Houston getting Oladipo, great scorer, good replacement for Harden. And then I thought that, and I mean, there's more there. There's more players, but I think that this sneaky good pickup was the Cavs like randomly getting Jared Allen, right?
Yeah.
But
they got stupid amount of centers on that team.
They do, but also probably the best group of bigs. You know what I'm saying, in the East at least. And the hard thing though is like they all kind of play similar styles, and that style is like really like dying out in the league. So
here's what I think. I think it's clear that means that they're either going to try to flip Drummond or let him walk because this is his last year in his contract.
Mm-hmm.
They're obviously, I mean, they'll probably keep JaVale McGee as a backup, but I think they believe in Jared Allen because he's younger. And while he's not a stretch the floor guy, what he does that Drummond never did. So Drummond, I'm not gonna hate on Drummond. He played for my team for his whole career. Basically, he's one of the greatest rebounders of all time, an elite rebounder, and found a little bit of offensive game. A little bit. I'm proud of his development because he was really raw when he came in. But the one thing that Jared Allen does that Andre never really got down pat is that Jared Allen has elite upside as a defender, shot blocker, rim protector, and he can be like if you are a non-floor stretching big, the prototype has to be a DeAndre Jordan or a Rudy Gobert. Like you got to be an offensive rebounder, rim rumming. Did
it like 4 times.
Running.
Rim running.
Nah, see, that's why you rap and I make beats. I don't know how to do words good. But if you follow that model, defensive center, catch lobs, block shots. Don't try to do too fucking much. You know what I'm saying? Get out of the fucking way. Like Drummond, that was Drummond's thing, man. He would be trying to post up and turn the fucking ball over. Like, bro, that's not your game, dog. And with Jared Allen, you're gonna get a lot of what Andre does. Not as good of a rebounder, but a better defender. And he's not as good an offensive player as Andre Drummond either. But he's gonna get out of your fucking way and let the bucket getters get the buckets.
He understands his role. Exactly. So, sometimes that can be a skill in itself.
Bruh, that's the reason why. You remember I was hating on Isaiah Stewart, the Pistons drafted number. Bro, this nigga a boss. This nigga a fucking problem.
Understands his role, man.
That nigga be grabbing boards.
Energy guy.
He be eating niggas under the basket. You know what I'm saying? Pushing niggas around a little bit, grabbing a rebound, turn over both shoulders every now and then, hit a couple free throws. I'm like, all right, big fella.
Yeah.
Get your ass out the way a little bit, but nigga, when it's time to get them rebounds, go ahead and do what you gotta do.
Yeah, bro. That's but then James Harden comes in, obviously goes nuts in his first game with the Nets.
Triple-double, goddammit.
Big time triple-double too.
Immediately.
Most assists in Nets history, which is crazy. The first game. Which I thought
Jason Kidd played
I
for
just
them.
said that. I didn't just say it, but I was going to say. I was going to say I thought that was kind of crazy considering that Jason Kidd played for the Nets for so
years.
Long. Yeah, Stephon Marbury did too. So that's.
Jason Kidd might be
one of the best passers ever.
He might be the best player the Nets ever had. Maybe in the top 2 or 3.
Yeah, him and Vince Carter, man. That team was all. Kenyon Martin, bro. Remember Kenyon Martin? Just a rim rocking animal. But yeah, so I was kind of surprised with that, but I thought it was dope. So another thing I want to say real quick, like at what point do we stop calling James Harden a shooting guard? He is a point guard. It's not like he's overly huge. He's only 6'5". He handles the ball. He's a great playmaker. I mean, he's a point guard. Just play him at the one. I do worry that Kyrie no longer fits on this team.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that, man, and I got a lot of problems with Kyrie. Like outside of his basketball game. So I got one problem with his basketball game and a lot of problems with him off the court. Now shout out to Kyrie for doing what he thinks is woke work. And I think that's dope. Like do that, but like that doesn't excuse your gross like misuse or like breaking these COVID rules, bro. Like, if you want to commit yourself to that, that's cool. But like take a leave of absence and focus on that, right? Like you cannot do both of these things, right? And like because you're doing a quote unquote good thing, which it is a good thing, doesn't excuse the fact that you're putting everybody at risk. So pick one.
Yeah.
In terms of his basketball plan, like obviously elite bucket getter is probably the best handles ever. But this nigga be
Jamal
making
Crawford. Go ahead.
We talked about this already, bro. We about to start a whole nother conversation. I think what you said was in terms of like getting to his shot. You think Jamal Crawford
the best handle ever? Yeah,
I don't know about that, bro.
I think because Kyrie will and I'm not like I think Kyrie has a ridiculous handle. Like probably the best looking handle of all time. But I do think that he does a lot of stuff and then ends up still having to take a hard shot.
I know that was actually the point I was going to make.
Jamal Crawford he'll do a sweet move and then be like wide open, like almost to the point of not even the shot being contested.
Here's why
so much space.
I think that you're right. Absolutely. The reason why I can't put him at number 1 is because I think Steph does that better than him.
Okay.
I think.
No, like I said that I agree. Like I'm fine with that. Steph's my favorite player ever. So
I think Steph does the Jamal Crawford stuff. Like make one. He'll do a little set you up, and then he'll make one move, and you'll be fucking on the other side of the court.
And that also comes from the respecting of the shots.
Yes.
Like when you can shoot, obviously when you're the best shooter ever,
right.
it does make everything you do work a lot better.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially
all he has
people
to do
closing out on you.
People closing out like maniacs. If you look at the basket, they have to react to it because you can possibly shoot it.
Right.
Oh my
so
God.
Funny.
Hilarious. But yeah, bro. So I mean, James Harden is a point guard. And I I mean, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh man, they can't play together. There's no way. There's only one. Like, bro, these guys are sweet basketball players who have played their whole life. Like, they'll be able to play with each other. That's not. I'm not one of those people who doesn't think that great players can't figure it out and play together. That's stupid.
But somebody is gonna have to take a backseat.
But I do think somebody is gonna have to take a backseat. And what I said to you was having two ball dominant guards like that. Like, I don't want to live in a world where Kevin Durant is a catch and shoot.
Stretch four.
You know what I'm saying?
And here's the thing, in terms of personality, like, I think KD would be the one that's most willing to do it. But, like, don't disrespect him like that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes.
If I was the Nets, I would definitely try to see if I can get some assets back for Kyrie Irving. I would, because they done gave away all their first round picks.
Yeah.
I would try to sell Kyrie to somebody.
Just real quick, like, thinking of some teams in the league, like, who do you think would be a good fit and who would be? And it's tough, man, because I don't really see any teams, at least not until he comes back, because you just don't know what you're getting, because he's, you know what I'm saying?
To me, it's got to be a young team,
and obviously not in terms of skill, but just in terms of like what the type of vibe he's on right now.
Yeah, so there's two teams that come to mind. One veteran team, the Spurs.
Okay.
Because they don't really have. I mean, they got Devontae at point, however you pronounce his name. I don't like him, but I don't know if he ain't gonna be a superstar necessarily.
Right.
I could see Pop getting him together, or
I think Pop would be a good coach for him.
Yeah. I also am thinking of like a young, kind of scrappy team that doesn't really have a star yet. But the teams that come to mind are like Orlando, but they already got. I mean, they got Cole Anthony. They got.
I think Orlando needs a point guard.
Yes, they do. But are you ready to give up on your boy on Markelle Fultz?
I mean,
could you trade Markelle Fultz in that package and get a couple of first round picks back? So yeah, I mean, again, a team like that comes to mind. I was actually thinking,
what about, like, I think Orlando's a good pick. First of all, I do think Orlando works. I think San Antonio works, but I was also thinking, what about if they traded him to Chicago? Because I know that Chicago has
Kobe White,
but I'm just not like super big on him. You know what I'm saying?
He can hoop, bro. He been killing.
I'm not a fan of Kobe White like that.
I don't know. I fuck
think
with Kobe White,
that Kyrie would be a good fit in Chicago.
I did think about them, but Kobe White has.
That's their guy. I mean,
he's really hit or miss. He's young though. He's only 20.
Yeah, he's super
20
young.
years old. He's a 6'4" point that can shoot the three. I don't know if I would be willing to give up on him just yet.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't like. There's teams I think that could use Kyrie, but I just don't know if he's worth the risk to them right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Because he could show up and then he could get traded there and then just never suit up. You know
the other team that I thought could work, but I don't know if these two players can play together, is the Grizzlies.
Yeah,
him and Ja.
Yeah, I don't think they would. I don't know if they would be able to. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It don't really matter. Whatever team he's on, he's gonna fucking ball. He's gonna be ball dominant no matter what. So
for sure.
Yeah. So there you go.
Sports man.
All right.
Also,
fucking cool sports.
But yeah, so the Mortal Kombat movie that me and you, by the way, have been talking about for 2 years,
right? Since the beginning,
they mentioned it,
bro. That was like the first episode of the podcast. I think we talked about that.
We talked about that movie. So we've been on this train for a long time. We've known about the SwordCast that they have. We have been well aware. So you actually told me about this. They dropped like some still images from the movie, and I checked them out. I think they look sweet, and I am excited for this movie still. I kind of wish it would have been like somewhat of a teaser trailer or something.
Yeah,
but
it's coming.
I mean, I'm excited for it. Also, so I think the biggest mystery surrounding this movie is what character is Louis Tan playing?
We got answers.
Oh, okay.
He is playing a new character.
A new character.
An original character.
Got
yes.
it.
I mean, that's all we know. Which I'm cool with. I think that's fine.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. Do you think he's going to be the main character? Because
I think so.
I think they have an amazing cast, but I think he's clearly the best actor out of all these people.
No doubt.
So
I think he is going to be the main character.
That's dope.
But I'm interested on how they're going to. I mean, it's interesting to do a Mortal Kombat movie without Liu Kang as the main character.
It is. So I'm here for it though. You know what I'm saying? Also, man, as we always suggest, like if you guys aren't familiar with Louis Tan, man, check him out. He's a great actor, great martial artist. He's super legit, man.
And he's woke too.
And he's super woke. He's a great Instagram follow. If you guys have ever seen Into the Badlands, he's on Into the Badlands. He's a really dope character on that show. I think he shows up. I don't think he shows up until the last season though. He shows up before the last season.
Does he? He doesn't really.
How many is there 2 or 3?
I think there's 4.
No, there's not 4.
There's not 4.
I think there's
at least 3. I'm sure.
I think there's 3 because the first season was with what was that crazy guy's name? I forgot his name.
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but the first season
there's 3 seasons. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's 3. So I think he shows up in season 2 then. But
yeah.
He's a really dope. But then he's also in the show that was on Wu Assassins. He's on Wu Assassins on Netflix. That show's really dope. I love that show. That show has Iko Uwais in it. That is a really dope show as well. So yeah, you guys should check him out, Louis Tan. And I forgot about Wu Assassins. I actually loved that show. And that show's got Louis Tan and Iko Uwais in it. So definitely check that out as well. So yeah, bro. All right, man. Let's do it. WandaVision, dog. There were no air combos.
Nobody came close to even throwing a punch.
Okay.
I'm curious to know you. So you go. You just go ahead.
Okay. So these are my thoughts. I did watch WandaVision. First episode. Oh yeah, spoiler alert. If you are listening now, we are going to treat WandaVision like we treat Mandalorian. We're probably going to watch every episode and talk about it on here.
We'll probably do this for all the Marvel shows.
Yeah, all the Marvel shows, any Star Wars show, we're going to do this. So.
Oh, wait. Off top, I got to give the take that I'm going to continue to give until you motherfuckers stop ignoring it. We need to stop giving Disney Plus passes for these short-ass episodes and these short-ass seasons.
Bro,
we have enough evidence now to deduce that this is what they're going to do from here. It's not just the Mandalorian. All of these shits are going to be fucking short 30-minute joints.
8 episodes.
Fuck that, dog. That's not enough, bro.
It's not.
Like, come on. Edmund, I'm talking to you. God damn it.
So, all right. So my take on WandaVision was, did I like it? No. Did I think it was like boring? Yes. But while those were my initial impressions of the first episode, I am very mindful of the fact that this could and should lead to something bigger, right? Like I am kind of aware that she is dreaming, and she is dreaming up this world as a coping mechanism for dealing with the loss of Vision and the events of everything that happened at the hands of Thanos and the Infinity War and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm aware of these things. So I am aware that she has kind of created this perfect little world, and that sooner or later something should make it, come crashing down or whatever. And I'm cool with that, right? So I'm going to watch it in anticipation that something big comes from it. But at the same time, I do think that this was a bad choice for Marvel's first show. Do I think it could possibly give us the biggest and most important thing from it? Yes, but I think it was not a good choice for it to be like the first Disney Plus show that they put out, if that makes any sense.
Yes. I think that I hear you. I think a lot of people are going to disagree. Well, not a lot of people who listen to this show. Everybody, we all like similar stuff. We all want to see the fights and the interesting stuff, right? We want to see the fights and the action. I think that like the greater film critic world actually thinks that this is perfect. They think that the takes that I've been hearing is this is the perfect decision.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't think it's bad. This is not for me, right?
Totally. But yes, and the reason they're getting a lot of props for putting out something like this because it's so different, because it's like really not action packed at all. Mm-hmm. The fact that all of the Marvel movies up until this point have all been like crazy action heavy superhero battles, and this is like totally cerebral. And you know, there's a part of like you and I are very much alike in that I'm also an action junkie, but I also am a little bit of a goddammit kind of.
Hey, well, actually,
and like the film snob, and I like to see plot development and interesting stuff happening. So like I can appreciate it. It was boring. But it was boring. But they kind of, they're kind of lulling us to sleep with like, hey, here's all the stuff that's in the background while y'all niggas ain't paying attention type shit.
Right.
And it's so two things are clear off top. The main villain is Mephisto. Calling it right now.
Oh, okay.
Calling it right now. So I like that. Yeah. So twofold, right? And this takes a little bit of comic sweaty to know, a little bit of Marvel comic sweaty to know what's up. There's two things that are happening here. One, that annoying neighbor, I'm probably 99% sure that's Agatha Harkness, who is this like ancient witch, like a legitimate witch who was like a mentor / enemy of Scarlet Witch in the comics, who is trying to like keep her in this dream. And I think the reason why is because she is going to help manifest Mephisto, who she's working with, I believe. In the comics, the thing that and so obviously there's a lot of House of M allusions here as well. There's one scene at the end of the first episode where she flat out says no, which is almost exactly what happened with the No More Mutants thing. Yeah. Where she kind of like wipes away that sword agent from coming out of the sewer. So they've also introduced Sword, which is like the space version of S.H.I.E.L.D.
S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah.
And in the comic, the thing that caused Wanda to go crazy, that caused House of M, was the fact that she realized that her children weren't real. That she actually created her children, but in reality, what they were shards of Mephisto's soul. Yeah. And in order for him to come to life, they would need that. And if you look back, it was her that was like encouraging her to get pregnant. It was Agatha or Agnes that was encouraging her to get pregnant. And she does get pregnant at the end of the second episode. And also, there's one scene where like Agatha or Agnes, which is the annoying neighbor, mentions something about the devil. Dottie, the perfect housewife, was like, "Oh, the devil's in the details," and she's like, "Oh, that's not the only place the devil's at." To me, that was a clear call and like, hey, Mephisto's on deck. Right. And in the Loki trailer, there's actually a flat out like picture of Mephisto in. Is it? Yeah, well, kinda. In in a Loki trailer, there's a scene where they're in like this stained glass I can't talk. There's a stained glass cathedral, and they pause on this shot where there's a big red devil in the background, and it's obviously Mephisto. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be the big bad. And Mephisto is a really, really big bad. I mean, he's like one of the most powerful beings in all of Marvel. Yeah. I don't think he's going to be the big bad for Marvel Phase 5. I still think that's going to be Secret Wars and God Doom. But this will be a reoccurring theme in probably the multiverse movie with Doctor Strange. Yeah, Doctor Strange. We're going to see a lot of that. So in terms of lore and setting up some stuff, also they set up Monica Rambeau, who is Corsair, I think is her name. She's Captain Marvel. She becomes Captain Marvel eventually. But anyways, yeah. So they set up a lot of stuff. So while it was boring and while it was very much like, hey, we're going to do something different. That's why I said there's definitely, it's going to be important. There's a lot of sweaty seeds being planted and everything like that. So yeah, man, no fights at all, not even close. Not a lot of action, but in terms of lore building is pretty good. It's got me wanting to know what happens next, which to be honest is kind of all you really need. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
yeah, bro. I mean, you said it. And in terms of building something bigger, I think this show is going to be probably the most important out of all the shows in terms of building something that's going to show up in the films and that's going to mean a lot to the films coming out. So like I said, man, not, for me per se right now, but I am going to keep watching it because I am aware that there's something big going to come from it.
Boom.
All right, man, for the music fans, last time we did what we told like a disappointing story and then like a story of triumph, right? So this time, let's tell more music stories for all the fans of our music and stuff. Can you give me a story where you were pleasantly surprised in your music career so far?
Yeah. I mean, so there have been a few times, like I think more often than not, like working with live musicians is always a thing where it's like, oh, because there's like a little bit of those of us who are producers. A lot of producers are not trained musicians. Some of us are. Like I play the piano a little bit. I understand. I can read music a little bit. I understand music theory a little bit, but I'm by no means a like studio session musician, right? Like I'm by no means am I a nigga who's gonna come in and like, hey, I need you to lay down some keys for fucking Mary J. Blige, goddammit. Like I don't do that, right? And there are a lot of music guys, especially in Detroit. Detroit's got hella music talent, a lot of jazz cats, a lot of gospel cats that are really amazing. So there's a little bit of insecurity sometimes when you take your music to professional studio session musicians and be like, hey, can you mind like lowering yourself to this little hip hop bullshit and play some chords? And I think because I know a little bit about music, my stuff is usually received because they're probably used to hearing like a bunch of trap shit and a bunch of like repeating loops, and they can hear that my shit is a little bit more musical. And I usually will give them like a bass line that I will try to fart out by myself to, God damn it, make this sound sweet. And they can kind of be like, all right, I can work with this. But there's some insecurity around like, hey, like, I know you're like super into doing stuff way sweeter than this, but like, can you fart some shit out for me? Kind of. And then usually the responses that I get back are like, yo, this shit is crazy, dog. Like, yeah. And then they not only do they do exactly what I want, them niggas be so inspired that they like throw some crazy shit down, and I'd be like, holy shit, this is way better than I thought. Fucking way better than, and then I got like an orchestra level piece of music for some nigga that wants a beat, I'm like, and then this happens all the time. Then it's like, actually, now this beat is too sweet for me to give to you, so you can't have it no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit happens.
Yo, that I understand that,
bruh. My computer is full of. Now I shouldn't say this. Now niggas gonna be all in my inbox, but my computer is full of beats that got too sweet to be like sold off to people because now there's like pieces of personality in it. And they, but the good news is I'm about to start making new music so they can get used. How about that?
Boom. I like it.
So yeah, that's an example of a thing that went, and just a quick show situation. There was a couple of shows that me and Chris Orrick, shout out to formerly known as Red Pill, had. There was one show where we went to fucking way out in goddamn like Traverse City, which in Michigan, those of y'all who are not from Michigan, is like the whitest part of the state by far. And this is pre-Trump too, so it probably would not be the same now. But we went there, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, nigga. These niggas is real white. These niggas is white type shit, right? And Chris is white, but he's like, he's white technically, and he's a white dude, but he also is like super woke and knows what's up. But and so I was expecting like these niggas is not about to give a fuck about none of this hip hop shit, like. They probably gonna not let me in. They probably gonna have me use the slave back door, and we gonna be in trouble. Turns out this is a bunch of nice fisherman white dudes that fucked with hip hop, and that shit was a dog ass show.
That's like, all right, crazy.
That's what's up. I didn't expect that to happen, but I'm here for it. So there it is.
Hey, hilarious, bro.
What about you?
So
No, nigga, you gotta use the fucking back door.
no, go through the back door.
Not gonna be able to do it.
So yeah, man, I have a funny time where I was pleasantly surprised. I was on tour. This was, I think, maybe a couple years ago when we did. I did like the tour where I was doing the tour for my stuff and then my group as well. And we were in Albuquerque, New Mexico, dog, and it was like it had been like 5 just like super live, like crazy shows in a row. And then I remember we got to Albuquerque and like Chris, if everybody's listening, Chris is our manager, and Chris was like, he's like, tonight about to be trash, bro. So take it easy.
I remember you talking about this.
He's like, tonight about to be trash. Take it easy, man. Relax, because we got to hit the road like early in the morning. So basically, like, you don't got to give like a super crazy effort.
Y'all niggas can hot dog this one.
Yeah, you ain't got to give a crazy effort on stage. The pre-sale tickets sales are trash, so it's gonna be trash. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, bro. So, after sound check, I go in the back. I'm taking a nap, right? I'm tired. I was taking a nap backstage. And LXVII, who was with Illidope, and they have, he was opening the show. They have their own thing together called The Illest. So they were opening that show. And then they were going to perform, and then I was going to go, and then the group was going to go, right? So I'm backstage taking a nap, bro. And I hear LXVII go out there, and he gets on the mic, and I just hear, Albuquerque, New Mexico, how y'all doing tonight? And I just hear, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? You know what I'm saying? So I wake up and I go open the curtain and I look out there, and bro, it's sold out. It's super packed. And I just looked at Chris and I was like, and I was just like, that was one of my favorite moments of being like pleasantly surprised, like, you know what I'm saying? Having super low expectations and then being, really surprised. And that's one of my all-time favorite shows, man. Super dope. It was packed, really dope fans, man, and bought a crap ton of merch after the show, and just good, nice people too, man. So that is a time where I was pleasantly surprised in my music career. Boom. But yeah, man, let's go. It's time for a lot of people's favorite part of the show. You can only pick 3. Last week we did like the anime. What was the word for it? The
deuteragonist or
deuteragonist
something like that.
Yeah.
Protagonist.
Something like that. Yeah, man, something like that. The homie Samurai Champloo. Samurai Champloo. I think he's the one who brung the word to our attention.
Yo, so I need to get to know. So like, I know some of the fans by their Instagram, and then some of them.
I know some of them by their Instagram name, and then they have different names in it. But Sly and Samurai Champloo are the same person.
Okay, all right.
And and he actually hit me to something super dope, man. He was saying that, like, dog, do you know we should look into, when COVID obviously and everything's over, but just like the fan base and the community that we have, right? Mm-hmm. What if we like put together like a big show, right? But like a convention though, where people would like cosplay and come to the show.
That'll be
like
fire.
It would be like a SwordCast convention, and we could have we could get this community together of like all these dope artists and nerds and producers and rappers. We could have a show. We could have a cosplay, people cosplaying, have a cosplay contest. Dog, I'd be able to get like some pretty. We'd be able to get Mega Ran there, no problem. We'd be able to get like the cats from Noir Caesar. It's like this. Those are my homies. It's a black. They do like anime and manga and stuff. Like, we'd be able to get them there.
Bro, isn't secretly a basketball player at the end of that?
Yeah, bro, Johnny O'Brien. He played in the NBA for.
Yeah, that's so random. Yeah, but shout out to
right. And he still plays overseas. He got super game too.
Yeah, big fella, jump shot.
Yeah, he like 6'8", handle ball, scorer. But yeah, like we'd be able to get some pretty dope acts there. So I think that would be that'd be something we should look into, man.
Really
in
good
the future.
idea.
But yeah, man, let's go. You can only pick 3. What are you looking at here, sir?
Hey, man, I flat out don't know who some of these people are, because I don't watch Bleach.
I will help you out.
I don't watch whatever the fuck that is. I definitely don't watch. I assume that this guy's from One Piece, yes?
No.
Right here?
I can't.
Right here?
Yeah, the One Piece
Right.
guy.
So obviously I don't know who that is.
I think you know who everyone on here is except maybe 2 people.
Okay, if you say so. All right, so here's how I'm gonna do it.
So the first, so you're looking at anime villains
Yes.
right now. You're looking at a group of anime villains. You can only pick 3. That first one is Aizen from Bleach.
Yeah, okay. I figured that's who it was, but I don't watch Bleach.
Okay.
Well, bro, Bleach I think is maybe the most overrated anime of all time, in my opinion.
I can't say okay. So fun fact, we do have Tales of a Samurai Part 4 on the new project. It's awesome.
So one of my favorite.
I think it's one of my best. Chris says it's the best song I've ever made. I think that's super high praise.
It's a fucking really dope song.
I love the song. I think it's amazing. But what I'm getting at is one day you guys will hear that when this album comes out. But spoiler alert, one of the verses is about Ichigo from Bleach, right?
And that's some insider knowledge right there.
It is super insider knowledge for everybody listening to the pod. One of the verses is about Ichigo, and I had a lot of fans, Bleach fans, like hit me up, write me messages like, "Yo, when are you gonna do a verse about Ichigo from Bleach, man? You got to put him in Tales of Samurai." So I'm like, all right, cool. I actually watched all of Bleach just so I could do that. Yeah, so I started watching it, and then I watched enough to write the verse, but then I just watched it. The thing about Bleach is it's not bad early, but for some reason it gets like really whack after like the Soul Society thing, and it just
that's about when I stopped watching.
Yeah, and it just like goes downhill for some reason. I don't really
the thing about
why.
Bleach that I can't stand is that it and One Piece, Bleach actually more so. I know I hate a lot on One Piece, but Bleach more so does the shit out of them anime tropes, bro. Like in a way that's like super like, hey, fucking, I got a hot-headed rival, cool. And then it's like, all right, one villain after the next is like stupid step up in power, and so now I gotta come up with another crazy transformation. It's like, bro, this shit is so formulaic, and
it's super.
Even
formulaic.
Naruto does a better job, because I feel like Naruto, the power scaling makes sense. It's it progresses really nicely.
So as a big time Naruto fan, like I do think the power scaling makes sense and progresses like in the correct pacing
to a point.
To a certain point. But I think the thing about Naruto though is like the story the story there is like really good and really solid, and
it's seamless.
It carries the show. Like it is a show that you watch for like the action and the characters and the sweet fights, but like Naruto has a story there that just carries it, and that makes it, I think, better than most other like long form shonen anime shows.
I agree, and also
because the show, I guess because there's so much other like elements there. The show's not just like, yes, he wants to be Hokage, but that's like not the only thing that it's about. Sometimes you watch a shonen show and it's like only about this person just getting strong and fighting people that are stronger than them. You know what I'm saying? They don't have like a bigger thing going on.
I think also, and I'll actually give Dragon Ball Z some props, because even though I love Dragon Ball Z, I'm very hard on Dragon Ball Z. I'm very like, I critique it very heavily. One thing Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and also Full Metal Alchemist do very, very well is that they have arcs, but the arcs are all a part of a longer story, right? Like, we knew something was up with Madara, since the very beginning of the anime. Like, we kind of knew he was in the background. I feel like with shit like with Bleach and fucking all these new animes, there's just like creating arcs out of nowhere just for the sake of having an arc.
Yeah, I
just
agree
for the sake of, all right, what's next? Kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then like, I agree. And then also Naruto just does a good job of which, and again, they fell off developing a lot of characters when Shippuden happened, but there are characters that they introduce and that you are curious about, and then you end up getting, a cool story on that person too. So
boom. All right, so let's go through this real quick. We got Aizen from Bleach, who I think he starts off as like the senior leader of the whatever whatever that group of galactic soul people. What's the name of the fucking ghost bag? Whatever the fuck
Soul
they are.
Society.
Yeah, he's like one of the high ups on that. It turns out to be a bad guy, right? Isn't that how his arc goes?
Yeah.
Whatever. Didn't watch it. Then we got Madara, who is obviously the big. That's one of the ways that Naruto kind of lets you down at the last second is they kind of take Madara's
shine after
they kind of take his feet away right as he gets started, and they kind of introduce, and it wouldn't have. So here's all right, a little bit of an aside. Madara is, for all intents and purposes, the big bad for all of Naruto. Turns out that actually, wait, it's Kaguya there.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, he was a pawn the whole time.
And I actually would have been. It's still a little disappointing, but what actually makes that worse is the fact that not only is it Kaguya, there's also an entire clan of super moon niggas that
who are now like the true threat in the Naruto universe.
Okay, dog. So what do we? So not only did you take Madara's feet from under him, you also just took Kaguya out too.
Yeah,
and I didn't like that very much. But for all intents and purposes, you got Madara as pretty much the big bad, and boy does he deliver. So I think he's gonna be one of my keepers. But let's keep going. We got my man from Hunter x Hunter, whose name I can't remember, the Ant King.
Meruem.
Yeah, yes, yeah. So I haven't watched Hunter x Hunter in a super long time, but the one thing that kind of always turned me off about him is that his design looks so weird to me.
It looks like, I think it's kind of similar to Cell too.
For sure, he absolutely looks like a Dragon Ball villain, like straight up. But he's really cool, and he is. Some of the fights that he's involved in are really dope.
So like a lot of Hunter fans, they champion that Chimera Ant arc as like
one of the best.
A lot of people think it's the best anime arc ever. I loved it, but it took a really long time for me to like come around to it because just the designs of the characters and the like monsters in it were so weird and like not. And obviously, I'm an anime fan, so it's not that they were weird, but it's that they were kind of corny looking. Like a lot of them looked like ridiculous, and I was like, all right.
Totally. So you get what I mean about the design, the character design.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like this would not be out of place in Dragon Ball Z because that's the shit that they always been on.
Right.
But up until that point, the character design in Hunter x Hunter was more or less based in kind of reality a little bit.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you got these sort of cartoonish like circus monsters. It's kind of like, okay, what are we doing? Then we got my first keeper off top, Shishio from motherfucking Rurouni Kenshin.
Dude, what a horrifying nightmare.
This dude has he had such a crazy story, bro. Like just a telltale, like got in too deep for a little bit too long and nigga couldn't get out on the other side and ended up getting burned literally.
Bruh.
And figuratively and literally.
Took the mantle at the wrong time, dog.
Yep. So yeah, I mean he and Kenshin have one of the dopest like intertwined stories. Another guy who you kind of plan for. I mean, I think Rurouni Kenshin is a little different. It's to me, even though it is technically a shonen anime, it doesn't follow the normal shonen.
Absolutely not.
Because it's like a historical fiction kind of too.
It is, and that's it. See, man, I never yes, it's totally a shonen, but I never ever looked at it like that because just the way that the show is structured, it doesn't play out like that at all. It doesn't really do that to me.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's gonna be my first keeper, and I gotta underrate it, bro. I'm gonna have to go with my second keeper being Lord Frieza, the racist fucking. And the reason why, like, I'm not a fan of Frieza.
Hello, monkeys.
What a jerk!
It's hard to be a fan of Frieza, right? Like, it's not about that.
I mean, you love Frieza. I know you love Frieza.
Come on, bro. Don't slander me like that.
I'm not slandering you. I just know that's your guy.
I don't love Frieza at all. I think he's a racist piece of shit.
Monkeys. Hello, niggers.
I mean,
Frieza would totally say the N-word.
dog, he would thrive in Donald Trump's America. You kidding me? But I think the reason why I like Frieza so much as a character is because of what he represents in terms of the lore of the entire Dragon Ball arc, right? Like he's like, for all intents and purposes, he more so than Vegeta is Goku's main rival.
Yeah.
Because from Dragon Ball up until Dragon Ball Z, he was the big bad. You never know what to believe these days. But there was a rumor that was supposed to be the end of Dragon Ball Z, as the Frieza fight, Frieza saga, and that was supposed to be the culminating villain. And in terms of what he represented for the franchise, what he represented for Goku as a foil, like having that first big leap into like, oh shit, Goku, like it was at that point that Goku became the guy that's like more powerful than pretty much anybody else in fiction. You know what I'm saying? When you got this overwhelming, just, I don't know, bro, like the story of like, hey, like Frieza was that nigga who showed up and was like, oh, I'm really impressed with your power level of like 70,000. When you freeze with when you did your fusion with Nail and you can do it and you feel so I can win. I can do it, right?
I can't do it.
Right? And Frieza was super impressed with your little, 100,000 power level. And it was like, oh, by the way, my shit is right now with me sitting down is at like 400,000 nigga off top. And then like we had never seen power like that in Dragon Ball yet, right? Like it was a huge step up in terms of the level of power, the foil that Goku was facing, and to see him, I talk a lot of shit about adult Goku, but to see him kind of boss up and like and rise to the occasion and overcome that nigga, and basically when he turned Super Saiyan was fairly dominant. Like it kind of was not really it wasn't really much of a fight after that. That was a really, really dope moment. That's one of my favorite moments in all of Dragon Ball Z. So off the top of what he represents, I know this is an unpopular pick, but I'm going to go with Frieza as my second keeper.
Boom.
So I don't know who this other guy is, but let me just try something right
That's
quick.
Vicious, bro.
That's Vicious? Why is he?
From Cowboy Bebop.
But doesn't his hair like look different in other pictures?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I'll lose some points there. So the reason why I'm having a little bit of trouble here is because he looks like somebody from Black Clover. That's the reason why I was looking, the way he was dressed with like the...
Oh, yeah, that's Vicious from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, well, that just made everything a lot more complicated now. I may have just wasted a pick on Frieza. Okay, I'll come back to Vicious. Then you've got what is his actual name? So we know that this is his name All For One, or his power as well All For One?
That's his villain name. I don't know if they ever give like his
real name.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, All For One from My Hero Academia. The jury's still out on him for me.
Yeah.
Because it's a super interesting concept, but he's a little bit of a black and white kind of flat. Like, hey, I'm evil.
I'm super powerful.
Right. You need somebody to be the opposite of All Might, right? So like, that's me, and I'm literally the opposite of this nigga. So much so that my power and my hero name is called One For All, or All For One. So I don't know. The jury's, and we still don't really know a whole lot about him yet, at least not in the anime.
Right.
Maybe if you're caught up in the manga, maybe you probably know more, but I don't. So right now, he's a cool villain, but he's not going to go in my top 3. Then we got some crazy wide mouth person from One Piece who I don't know who he is, so I'm going to keep it moving. Who is that? Is
that Flamingo from One Piece?
What does he do? Is he a fucking something or what? What does he have? I don't know what that is.
Oh man, awesome.
Cool. And then we got Cell. I really like Cell, man, but what I like more than Cell himself is the Cell moment, the Gohan moment at the expense of Cell.
Yeah.
My number one favorite moment in all of Dragon Ball Z, when Goku literally kicks the upgrades out that nigga in a way that is really, really kind of hilarious. There was one point where Gohan punched him, and Cell himself was like, he couldn't figure the shit out. He was like, bro, like, you only hit me twice, nigga. What? And he literally said the words, "Why am I so damaged?"
Bro, he threw up. He
Right.
punched him in the stomach and he threw up.
He punched the absorbed niggas out of that guy.
Oh, goodness.
Okay.
Hilarious.
So now I need to reconsider here because Vicious is one of those guys with his relation. It's more about the relationship, like the dichotomy between him and Spike that makes the character dope. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So so right now it's going to come down between Vicious and Matada.
Okay.
I really like Matada off the strength of him just being so present in the background, and his story just made so much sense, dog. Like,
Yeah, it was fire.
I mean, he is one of the villains that I think like lives up to promise in a way that nobody does. Like him and Frieza, I think they stand out to me as like guys who were worth the hype. A guy like Jiren, on the other hand, in Dragon Ball Super, totally not. Right.
Right.
Even Majin Buu to some extent was a little bit like, oh, this nigga's just a crazy motherfucker. Like, sort of. But then, you know, you got the history with Vicious. You've got the shared background with Spike that has how they sort of mirror each other. You got one of the best fights ever between those guys. Okay. All right, bro. I think I'm gonna go with Matada.
Hey.
I'm gonna go with Matada, dog. It's just
Matada Uchiha.
too much of a
Nice. Too much of a boss.
See, this when I look at, even though now that I'm looking at him at the same time, this picture, I always look at his hair being a lot longer.
Yeah, I feel you.
And that's what kind of, because this angle kind of threw me off
a little bit.
And I was also insecure because there was a bunch of other people on there that I didn't know, so I second guessed my anime knowledge. Like, oh, I don't know what the fuck. So yeah, man, I'm gonna go with Shishio, Frieza, and Madara. These are the big bads. I mean, all three of these guys are the big bads who, when you finally got to them, like, you believe the shtick. Like, oh, it wasn't just like, oh, plot armor because I need you to be a big, powerful motherfucker.
Right.
I'm gonna have you like inexplicably just be super powerful for no reason. But with these folks, like, you really, the story that they told up until that point really served them really well. So those are my three. What do you got?
All right, man, let's go. You can only pick 3 anime villains. Let's get it. Aizen. Again, not the biggest Bleach fan. I do also think Bleach is super overrated. But Aizen's a good villain. But I'm out on him on here. Next, we got Matada Uchiha. Again, bro, like, as far as living up to high expectations after they hyped him up for so long, and then he just shows up on the battlefield of the 4th Shinobi World War and just destroys the whole army by himself, then fights all 5 Kage by himself and like destroys them all too. Yeah. He definitely lived up to the hype. Madara is one of my favorite anime villains ever. Madara is going to be my first keeper as well. Boom. Then we got Miruim, the Ant King from Hunter x Hunter. Not only was he was a really good villain, bro, and then he got one of the best fights ever against Netero when they fought each other. Super, really dope, extremely powerful. The way that they did his character was so cool because, like, even though he was like a heartless, like, murdering psychopath, but it wasn't from a place of like he had to do it to feed on, you know what I'm saying? And then also they make him sympathize with this like young girl that he was playing chess. They're playing a game, I think it's like chess, I don't remember. But and then they like start showing this like human, like, sympathetic side of him, and then boom, he has to like fight and, you know, to the death. But I thought he was a really dope character. Then we get to Shishio. Shishio is gonna be my second keeper. Horrifying, man. But Shishio's his philosophy, dog. If you're strong, you live. If you're weak, you die. What a psycho.
I mean, shit.
He's got a super dope look too, man. And I mean, again, another character who was super hyped up that lived up to the hype, man.
Absolutely.
He was a freaking maniac.
And this is Kenshin. He basically was haunting Roni Kenshin, bro.
Dog, right.
Himura Kenshin. That nigga is the baddest man ever.
Dog, facts.
And he had him shook,
and he
bro.
had him kind of shook, bro.
Yeah.
And Shishio is a psychopath, man.
Yeah.
Like, they start fighting. He's out there biting cats.
Right.
He did the thing where he cut himself and it like exploded.
Right.
And almost killed Kenshin. Yeah, Shishio is a maniac. He was an awesome character, though. He's going to be my second keeper. And we got Frieza. The big bad from Dragon Ball. I can't stand Frieza, dog. Really dope villain, but I just never
He's just a
liked
racist,
him.
bro.
Yeah, I hated him.
I get it. Like, let's not get it twisted. I don't like Frieza either.
Right.
But in terms of like his role as I mean, it's the same way that you don't like MJF, but he's a great heel.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
100%. Same exact
Same
thing.
thing.
Yeah. Then we got Vicious. You already know. I love Vicious, man. Like, this is kind of weird because I'm actually about to have my nope, no surprise here.
Right.
I'm about to have my 3 before I even finish.
Right.
But Vicious is actually my favorite anime villain ever. I love Cowboy Bebop. I love his character. I think that the dope thing about Vicious, like, Cowboy Bebop is such a shallow show. It's like nothing, but at the same time, it's like everything and all these big things that are like kind of left up to you to determine. It's like, who's the real jerk
Who's the
here?
real
Like,
villain, right?
was Julie a vicious girl and Spike took her from him, or was she Spike's girl and Vicious tried to take her from him? Like,
kind of Super Mario.
you know what I'm
Bowser
saying? You know what I'm
kinda
saying?
thing,
Like,
yeah.
what's going on with the Red Dragon Syndicate? Like, why does he want to take over so bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a lot there, and I just thought he was a really dope character. So Vicious is actually my third keeper. Then we got All For One again, like you said. I think the jury's still out on him. I'm not really. He was kind of like cut and paste, super powerful bad guy.
Fucking bad guy.
Doflamingo from One. A lot of people think, I know you don't watch One Piece, but a lot of fans think he's the best villain. My favorite One Piece villain was Crocodile, the croc dude. So
Sure.
yeah, sure. But I do know a lot of people like Doflamingo, but I don't know. I'm not. One Piece villains be looking so weird with them huge upper bodies and them like little baby legs.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm sorry. I could not get over the way One Piece was animated. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm shallow.
It's
I'm a piece of shit. Whatever. It looks whack to me.
Right.
Sorry. Period.
I agree. And then we got Cell. Cell, awesome. Just literally set up in a tournament so he could fight people.
Right, bro.
Perfect Cell, dope character. But I already picked my 3, and it was fairly easy, man. Madara, Shishio, and Vicious.
Boom.
But big time shout out to Miruem and Cell, though.
Oh.
All right, man. Let's get it.
Boom.
I said earlier that I was talking about Craig the Creek, and it was kind of leading to our top 5. I've been super appreciative of Cartoon Network lately. So what I want to do is talk about our top 5 favorite Cartoon Network characters.
Yes, sir.
Ever. So just characters that are of Cartoon Network origin, right? So let's get it.
All right, boom, let's go. So I got 2. I saved myself a headache by just tossing a Hail Mary. Because there are tons and tons of direct connections to my childhood here.
Man.
I got 2 honorable mentions off top. I'm going to start with number 5 from Codename Kids Next Door.
Oh,
So
wow.
her actual name is number 5.
That's fire.
The black girl played
The
by
red
Grace
hat.
Summer. Yep.
Yeah.
It's kind of whack
Susan
that.
Carmichael.
Yeah, basically, it's kind of whack that she's the only one that actually didn't have a name. Her name was just number Numbah.
Slave 5.
Right, 5. But she was dope though. She was clearly the best person in that show. Clearly the leader. I don't know why number 1 thought he was a leader. She was the one that had all the answers all the time.
Right.
And then number 6, Frylock from fucking Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh.
A psychic powered French fry.
Hilarious.
Shout out
Able
to
to shoot electricity through his eyeballs and blast through a single-sided brick of drywall.
Hey.
Doom. Aqua Teen Hunger Force Doom rhymes.
Let's go. All right, man. So jumping into the top 5, I'm gonna go with number 5, Craig of the Creek.
Hey,
I was gonna say Craig of
Let's
Craig
go.
of the Creek. It's kind of repetitive.
Hey man, same way we say Hey Arnold.
Right.
His name's not actually
His name is Hey Arnold. But yeah, man, I haven't watched every single episode, but I've seen enough of it to start to put the world together, see the overarching story.
Yeah, bro, it's fire.
You know, the overarching game plan of like, you know, one side of the creek versus the other.
Man.
I saw the episode where what's the green poncho?
Yes, super dope character.
He goes to like talk to a girl, and then he leaves Craig in charge to go to watch the gate or watch the sewer or whatever, and he goes to the other side for some reason and loses his map.
Yeah,
or he gets caught by
the king's little.
What are those guys called? The lollipop gang.
Yeah,
or some
the
shit
little
like,
scouts.
Yeah. And he goes over there and sees
the honeysuckle tribe. I think that's what
something like that. And then the king is like the kind of stereotypical, hey, I'm nice, but I'm also fucking crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Kind of. And then you saw the king's guard, who looks like she probably a ass kicker.
Yeah, he got all his little people got like superpowers.
Yeah, right.
There's one kid named the Blur, and he always, his puns are hilarious. Like he'd be like, "Didn't you do that yesterday?" He'd be like, "I totally forgot. Yesterday was kind of a blur for me." Or when he meets people, he says, "Nice to beat you." It's pretty funny.
So
man.
is he just a fast ass?
He's super fast,
okay.
yeah.
Well, that's kind of dope that like in real life he's probably just a kid that's fast. But
and that's the thing about Craig the Creek, bro, is that they like always flash to the reality of it real quick. Like they had this one where some kid called the ground was lava for the whole day, and like there was kids like dying, like lava going over them, and like a skeleton would be there, and then it would be real quick, and you just see the kid laying on the ground, like this.
So one thing that I always wondered about Craig of the Creek, because like obviously they're all playing, like they're all in on the game, kind of everybody is,
right?
But are there shared rules? Like if say you got captured by the other side of the creek, and then your mom called, like. Is it like? Is it kind of like, all right, bro? I gotta time out. I gotta leave.
I think so, because usually there's like a mutual understanding of like dinner time is like that's it. Like everybody has to leave at dinner time,
right?
But the king on the other side is a little crazy, man. So nuts. I don't know, bro. But there's always like moments that happen where like reality kicks in, or one where it'll be like some unexplained weird thing that happens and they just never acknowledge it. Like there's this episode where they had to get Chinese food for Kelsey's dad, and they get the food but they forget the rice, so then they try to make the rice for her dad. And they're like, "Oh, I know how to make rice." And then they're like, "Oh, but we're kids. We're not allowed to turn on the stove." And then the stove just turns itself on. And then they're like, "Oh, it turned on by itself." And then they never like go back and talk about it.
That's funny. All right, so yeah, shout out to Craig, a little black representation there as well. Then number 4, man, it wouldn't be a Cartoon Network list without Steven.
Steven! Let's go.
Steven from Steven Universe. Actually, Steven Universe, that's his actual name. So yeah, and then number 3, I mean, I've talked about him at length, so obviously,
right.
For the sake of time, moving on to number 3. I'm gonna go Jack of Samurai Jack.
Love it.
Time traveling samurai, voiced by a black guy out of nowhere.
Facts.
Phil Lamar. Also, bro, Samurai Jack is like crazy powerful, bro. Like he's one of the
come on, man.
He's one of the best swordsmen in all of fiction
ever.
Yeah,
ever.
Like
he's actually just a weapons master.
Yeah,
it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, yeah. No, that nigga's arts is martial as fuck,
bro, for sure.
So shout out to Jack. Number 2, hey, she's super high up on the list, man.
I already know who it is.
My favorite character from Steven Universe.
Let's go.
Garnet, dog.
That's such a good
And if you want to be...
Hey, well, actually...
technically, Ruby and Sapphire are one character, Garnet,
yes,
but still, she's... Man, look, dog, her origin story, Garnet's story, is one of the best.
Fire.
Bro, that's one of the best stories.
And she's one of the best, like, looking characters.
Yeah, bro.
She just looks sweet.
Dog ass afro.
Yeah.
7 feet tall. Goddamn. beat your ass, right?
Gloves,
with the
power
Bret Hart
gauntlet gloves,
bro,
the Bret Hart shades.
And then, bro, when she like magically makes him appear, like,
bro, come on, man.
Let's go,
Garnet
dog.
is such a cool character, man.
And shout out to giving black women another like a dope character to cosplay with Garnet. And yes, she is black. Even Cartoon Network acknowledged she was black when they put up that Martin, or what did they do? They did something. They put up some sort of like Black History Month or whatever acknowledgement.
Oh yeah.
And they had Garnet on. They had Garnet and who should have been an honorable mention of mine as well, but Darwin from Gumball.
Yeah.
Also, they acknowledged him as being black too. So yeah, shout out to Darwin. He's hilarious. Gumball is also fucking funny too.
Dog, that show.
It's hilarious. It's so creative.
It's
dog.
absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. And then my number one, man, and I've been watching this show a lot recently. I mean, I
think I know who it is, but I'm not sure.
You probably do. I talked about him a lot, bro. My number one, my favorite Cartoon Network character of all time, to this day still, is Dexter.
I like it.
From Dexter's Laboratory, man.
Boom.
I've been rewatching Dexter
Fire.
lately. And bro, this nigga is the fucking GOAT, dog. Like Jimmy Neutron my ass, bro. Dexter would completely destroy this nigga, dog. Because also Dexter is he got a little bit of a hot streak. He's got some of
he does. Dexter got a little temper.
Yeah, because Jimmy Neutron is smart. He's smart and he's like a peaceful, hey, let's all world peace. But nah, Dexter he'll make a giant robot on your ass if you piss him off. So, if Dexter can be tempted to be offensive instead of just defensive, so I'm here.
Yes.
I'm here for Dexter. So yeah, my top five is Craig of the Creek, Steve in Universe, Jack of Samurai Jack, Garnet, and then Dexter of Dexter's Laboratory. Boom.
I like it. Hey man, that's a fire list. All right, man, let's go. I'm kind of excited about this one.
Let's go.
I have some honorable mentions real quick. So the first honorable mention I have, I'm gonna actually go with Rigby. First honorable mention from Steven Universe from Regular Show.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, dog. Rigby's hilarious. Regular Show, hilarious show. Rigby was my favorite character, and I thought that show was hilarious. Another honorable mention, man. I got two super important ones. I gotta give a shout out to Dexter from Dexter's Lab. Mm-hmm. That's probably my favorite, like, old school Cartoon Network show. Mm-hmm. And then shout out to Buttercup, dog. From Powerpuff Girls, man. The mean one. But let's go. Let's get this top five.
Also, shout out to Mojo Jojo. Great villain.
Shout out to Mojo Jojo, man. Yes. So let's go, man. Let's get this top five going. Coming in at number 5, man. Fresh off the Craig of the Creek. I love this show. I'm going with Kelsey, bro. From Craig of the Creek. I love this little girl. She is hilarious. This is the girl that always has the sword. Yeah,
the cardboard roll-up sword. Bro,
she always has the sword. She's so funny. And she's dope, man. Like, she got a crazy imagination. But when they need her to come through, like on the action, she be winning fights. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. She's a writer. She actually reminds me a lot of myself when I was a kid. I love Kelsey, bro. She's hilarious. She's a writer. She writes like her little fiction books. She is also hilarious. There's an episode where JP's lips get super chapped, and they're like, he needs surgery, and Kelsey says, we're gonna have to remove the skin from his butt, put it on his lips, and then, bro, there's the episode where she does like the jousting competition when they go to the other side of the creek, and she beats that super big monstrous girl, and they do like an anime style. She goes past it like,
yep.
You know what I'm saying? That she just falls over.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, Kelsey, love her. She's hilarious. She's one of my favorite characters in that show, and she's awesome. So she's my number 5. Coming in at number 4, this is kind of a deep cut here. I'm going with Lance from Symbionic Titan.
Hey, that is a really deep cut.
Symbionic Titan.
Yeah, that's a fire show.
Bro, another Jindy Tartakovsky like masterpiece. That show was dope. Lance was a sweet character. He could fight. I remember he would do. There was like sometimes he would fight like not in the robot suit, and it was really dope too. Like that show was sweet, bro. Like I remember being super into Symbiotic Titan right around the time like I was obsessed with Samurai Jack. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Lance from Symbiotic Titan. If you guys never watched that show, like you should watch it. It's one of those like Jindy action shows, like same like level of quality as like Samurai Jack and the Clone Wars Star Wars cartoon. Like this show, it's a really dope show, so you should check it out. Coming in at number 3, Garnet, man. Steven Universe, another sweet character. Garnet, man, like she's the reason I started watching Steven Universe. I saw a commercial of it, and I saw Garnet, and I was like, "Yo, what's that? What show is that?" You know what I'm saying? And my son was really big on Steven Universe, so then I started watching it, and Garnet was instantly my favorite character. Obviously, the fusion of Ruby and Sapphire.
Yes.
And that episode too, man, where they explain that, and where she fights who does she fight? Jasper. And she sings that sweet song.
Dog, that's one of my favorite episodes.
Bro, there was a time where I was like listening to that song like every day. So shout out to Garnet.
Yeah. That shit is a flat out like bop. That
bro,
shit is fire, dog.
It's dope.
Yeah.
And Estelle does her voice, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Coming in at number 2, I'm going with my man Omar, the green poncho from Craig the Creek. Look, man, once you watch some more episodes, you will.
I'm up on it.
Yeah, this kid, Omar, the green poncho, he's super dope. His little origin story episode is awesome. He's like Hawkeye, bro, and he's like the kid who. So basically, him and his sister met the king of the other side at the same time, and he made them have a fight to the death. Yeah, he made them duel each other to see who would get to be his best friend. And because the best friend of the king is like, obviously super important on the other side, and Omar had a chance to beat her, but he didn't want to beat her, and she beat him, and she's the king's best friend over on the other side of the creek now. So Omar actually got rescued by this girl who was the green poncho before him.
Oh, fire.
And the girl who was the green poncho before him trains him and teaches him how to be the green poncho, and because he's got to take her spot. And what happened was she was going into high school. She's going to be a freshman in high school, and she has to come rescue Omar. And then they get her picture, and then her hood falls off, and they get her picture, and the king pulls out his phone, and he's basically like, "Yo, I'm gonna send this to everybody at the high school, and they're gonna find out you're playing with little kids every day." And then she's like, "No," and then she quits. It's so funny, bro. And then and then Omar takes up the mantle. So he's dope, man. I think he's cool. It's a really, really sweet character in that show. And he's got like it's like Hawkeye, bro. He's got like the trick arrows, man. He got the pencil arrows, got the gumball arrows, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So shout out to Omar. And he can fight too. So yeah, man. So shout out to Omar, aka the green poncho from Craig the Creek. And number 1, bro, I mean, this wasn't hard. Samurai Jack. Let's go. Back to the future, back to the past.
Let's go.
Jack, one of the sweetest characters ever in all of fiction, one of the best swordsmen ever, just weapons master. Dog, when they did like the new episodes of Samurai Jack, like
I actually haven't seen those yet.
Bro,
dope.
They're so good, and that was a couple years ago. Really, really dope, man. You gotta check them out. So that's my top 5, bro. Shout out to Cartoon Network for giving us dope content for so long. So my number 5 was Kelsey from Craig the Creek. Number 4 was Lance from Symbiotic Titan. Number 3, Garnet from Steven Universe. Number 2, the Green Poncho from Craig the Creek. And number 1, Samurai Jack from Samurai Jack.
Let's go. One dope thing about Samurai Jack that is a little underappreciated is how much silence is in.
I love that, man.
Yeah. It's so fucking cool, man. He's just kind of like, this nigga Jack just be problem solving and like making facial expressions and like realizing things. Like, it's a lot of really good storytelling.
It is. I love that.
Jenny Tartas. He does that a lot in Dexter too. There are a lot of episodes of Dexter like that.
And Cave, Primal. Primal. Yeah, Primal's really good too, man.
Yep. So yeah, man, that'll do it.
Yes, sir.
Boom.
Boom. Hey, man, episode 66 or 67, we don't know, in the books. Yeah, bro, join the Discord, y'all. If y'all haven't joined the Discord yet, join the Discord. I'll post it. I'll share it on Instagram story. Make sure y'all just stay tuned, man, for music. I mean, I got a couple new projects done. I'm just waiting on the green light to get them out. Hir-O's working on something amazing right now. I think he talked about it a little bit. Did you tell him what you're doing?
No, but I don't know, but I can announce it now.
Okay.
I am, for the first time in like the past 5 or 6 years, I'm gonna get back into the digital music world. I'm gonna get my music on Spotify and all those places.
Yes.
And I'm gonna start doing that by remastering, re-engineering, and re-releasing my last record, which is Emissary, featuring some raps. Because I know it was mostly an instrumental joint. It'll probably still have 1 or 2 joints that are gonna stay instrumentals, but I'm gonna get like some of my rapper homies to be a part of that. So I already recorded 1 verse with Nav. We got a 2nd verse coming on here soon. I'm gonna get Finale involved, Detroit legend. Already got Finale's
also on my new project. He's one of my favorite rappers ever.
Yep. So we got Finale, we got Doss the Artist, we got Doc Illingsworth, we got Isaac Castor. I might try to see if I can get somebody like Megaran on a joint.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's where we're at. It should be really dope. I thought it was a really dope project when it first came out, but like, I think the music landscape has changed. So now, like, I think it's easier for more people to hear what you're working on, and that's exciting because I think people will really like it. So there it is. Boom.
I like it. Yeah, man.
Hey, yo.
All right, y'all. Episode 66 or 67 of the books.
Check it.
One day we'll find out.
Welcome back,
Thank y'all for
Hir-O.
listening. Peace.
My word is my sword, Hokage Tosai, pulling the blades out of the forge, yo. Prior to my knowledge of the force, was thinking Jedi, but through obtaining holocrons from both sides, I'm under gray skies. Everything that glitter ain't kyber crystal, my mind to lift you. In this time we shine together, disarm your pistol, yo. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash.